In today's replay analysis, we have Radiant Typhoon against Chimera. I'm playing the Chimera deck on the DB ladder, and yeah, let's go straight into it. The Chimera deck actually has a pretty good matchup against the Radiant Typhoon deck because of the Diabell's card that, yeah, kind of makes quick play spells useless. So let's see how this plays out. The hand of my opponent is kind of fine. He has Droplet, Book of Moon, also Yeldam, which is a starter for this deck, Cosmic Cyclone, and also Mystical Space Typhoon. So he has a lot of stuff to break my board, but if I end on the Diabells, the hand is basically kind of dead, right? My hand is super good. I have Mirror Sword Knight to start with. If this doesn't get hand trapped, it's like full combo. I also have two poly cards to dodge stuff like Imperm or whatever, and I also have Buyu the Dawn Slide. This is normally being sent by Chimera, but you can also send this via Fusion or Nightmare Apprentice from the hand to the graveyard to search for the Mutiny in the Sky. And yeah, let's see who's going first. Yeah, he's starting, so he's using his Eldam, which is his starter. Special summons him, uses the effect, gets the Swen. Then he specials the Swen, uses the effect of him to get a Radiant Typhoon spell. Then uses Vision, chains MST on Vision. So because this one has a secret effect that says if it gets popped by MST, it can set itself, so he can use it again in my turn. So I think this is a good play because he doesn't. He also wants to have the MST in his graveyard to be able to use his other effects. And then he discards a droplet because he has another droplet, which is like a good play there. Then, yeah, he triggers the effect to set the Radiant Typhoon Vision. Then specials the Mekala. Overlays those two for, yeah, the Totem Bird. When a spell / trap card is activated, quick effect, you can detach two materials from this card, negate the activation. And if you do destroy it, this card loses 300 attack while it has no material. So, yeah, this is not that relevant, but the part that negates is the relevant thing. And then he sets, I think, yeah, everything. So right now he has a spell trap negate. He has, I think this one can also trigger. Let me read it quickly again. If a Radiant Typhoon quick play spell card or Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, except during damage step, you can special summon Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck with a different name than the monster you control. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except win. So yeah, this doesn't matter at that much. But if he uses the Radiant Typhoon Vision to search another MST, he can use the Mekala and then special summon one of the big guys that can shuffle back stuff from his deck. So I think this is like also a pretty strong interruption when it's paired with a Radiant Typhoon card. And then he has Book of Moon, which isn't that great against the Chimera deck because booking does nothing. Cosmic Cyclone could be a strong thing to banish the Chimera fusion. And Forbidden Droplet, yeah, it's always a strong thing. So he kind of has this one as an interruption. It's one. Cosmic Cyclone is like a half interruption. He can banish the Chimera fusion so it won't come back. Then yes, this one as an interruption, so 2.5. Book of Moon is not an interruption against this deck, and Droplet, so it's 3.5 interruptions. But I think I also draw the Diabells here, and I think this hand can actually play through this board kinda easily. I'm thinking how I want to start here. The thing is, I could have just started with a Poly to just fuse into something, so that my Mirror Sword Knight could be like protected from a monster effect, but I don't really want to play in a Totem Bird. I think I just start here with oh no, I'm actually starting with the Poly. I thought I was just normal summoning the Mirror Sword Knight, but I just want to bait this out. I guess that's a good thing. So now if I normal summon now the Mirror Sword Knight and special summon the Baphomet, and he has something like, I don't know, Chalice or something like that, people play that, I can just chain Chimera Fusion to dodge it. So this was probably the right play to do it like that. And yeah, then I actually normal the Mirror Sword Knight, use the effect, and special summon the Baphomet. And then He uses Droplet, and he sends a monster, which is insane. He could have just sent it when he saw he's playing against Chimera. He could have just used, I don't know, Book of Moon on this, which does nothing. But then he could have chained Droplet, so I won't be able to chain the Chimera Fusion because uh, you always have to keep in mind if you target negate something or non, if you negate something that's on a field, right? Uh, the droplet doesn't target, but the target has to remain on the field to be negated by droplet, right? So if I fuse this away, it will resolve. So if you play against Chimera, you should always send a spell for droplet, so they won't be able to just chain Chimera Fusion, right? So because if this effect resolves, it gives me so much plus here, and yeah. I think also what could have been fine is like chaining 1 Performance, chaining 2 Radiant Typhoon Vision, and this one is a trigger effect in the next chain. Yeah, if Radiant Typhoon, so he can use this in the next chain. So 1 Performance, 2 Typhoon Vision, 3 Forbidden Droplet, send the Typhoon Vision, so I won't be able to use the Chimera Fusion here. But he's sending the monster, which now yeah, makes it way harder for him because now I can just chain the Chimera Fusion and send the Baphomet to the graveyard. And I also sent the Buyo here to go for the Duke of Demise. I don't really know if this was the correct play. Maybe I could have also sent like the Diabells, right, to be able to go into the Chimera, because this does not really help me here. I don't have anything I want to normal here. Um, but on the other hand, triggering the Buyo is like really cool because now I have the ability um, to just be able to search the mutiny in the sky, which can pop cards and stuff like that. So this is like a good thing. Yeah, I decide to go for the Duke of Demise. Then he negates the Duke of Demise. I think the reason why I went to the Duke of Demise is because I knew it will be negated, but it's I think it would still be fine to just go for a Chimera and then fuse it away, and then I have a Chimera in the graveyard, right? To be able to add back the Chimera fusion. But I guess this one also has a grave effect to add something back. So I think this wasn't the worst decision to go for this right here. And then I resolve all the I resolve the Big Wing Performance to get the Gazelle. Then Buyo and Baphomet both trigger, and also the Radiant Typhoon Megala trigger. Oh, this one says if Radiant Typhoon, Quick Play spell, or Mystical Space Typhoon is activated, except. So he did not use one of this, right? Mystical Space. Yeah, yeah, he actually cannot use that because this says you can only special summon. No, if a Radiant Typhoon Quick Play spell card or MST is activated. He used Droplet, so he's not able to do that. But in theory, he could just use the Radiant Typhoon Vision, so I think this is fine. Um, it doesn't matter too much right here. And I'm actually chaining the fusion to his effect because I don't want him to be able to trigger his big monsters easily. So yeah, right here, I think he should have maybe chained it on the first one, but yeah, right here it doesn't really matter to have like the cosmic cyclone, uh, because I have like two, right? If I have two, then I can always add one back, so that it doesn't make any sense to just go for the cosmic cyclone here, and then I fuse away the Duke of Demise and the Gazelle to go for now for the format. And he special summons out the Radiant Typhoon Phoenix. This one says if a quick play spell card is activated, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, shuffle them into the deck. So this one only needs a quick play spell to be activated. This one needs to be a Radiant Typhoon or MST card. So then I reborn with the Burrow format. The chain is still resolving. And add the Mutiny in the Sky into the hand. And he wants to read the Mutiny in the Sky, right? And then I use the Baphomet to send the Mirror Sword Knight into the graveyard. Right here, I sent the Mirror Sword Knight because there wasn't a better target. And I don't want to use the Mirror Sword Knight I have on the field to negate his Radiant Typhoon Phoenix. So I just send it another one so I can use this to be able to use the grave or on-field effect, right? This one says when a monster your opponent controls activates the effect where you control Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast, which this one is. You can banish this card from the field or graveyard, negate that effect. So I just send another one so I don't have to use the one from the field. Then I use Chimera Fusion to add it back to my hand to always be able to dodge something. And now I use Diabells, and right here I just use the Mutiny in the Sky to be sent by Diabells because there's not really a thing I want to use right now, and I can just add it back. I do have three fiends that I can use for Mutiny in the Sky, but I don't really want to discard a Chimera Fusion for the Diabell, so I just use Mutiny in the Sky, send it to the graveyard, and I can just add it back by sending another fiend from hand or field to the graveyard. So I think this is like a good thing to just swap a monster for a spell for Diabell. So this is also part why I played the Buyu, the Downslide, Mutiny in the Sky engine, so I always be able to search with Baphomet the spell to be able to special summon Diabell, so this will become a one card combo. Then I use Diabell's effect, send Curse of Diabell. Curse of Diabell searches me Philia Diabell. And using Philia Diabell at the Vengeance. And yeah, I don't think he can do anything right here. Maybe using the Cosmic Cycling still is not worth it here. And I use Mutiny in the Sky, discard Diabells, because this is a free discard, so I can just summon this from the graveyard, so I don't have to worry. I just get the Mutiny in the Sky back for free. Now he uses Book of Moon on the Baphomet, which is a good thing, but I think he should have done that before, because now if it's booked, it loses his status as being Baphomet, the mythical king of phantom beasts. So I think this is a good thing, but it just comes a bit too late. And then he chains. No, in the next chain he used the Phoenix to shuffle those back. But yeah, this is not doing a lot here. I think he should have waited until I used my last Chimera Fusion or whatever, or until I thread something, because there is no need for him to do that right now, because I have everything set up to just fuse again. He also could have waited until I get my vengeance on the field, so I don't see a need for him to use this right now, because now I just chain a Chimera Fusion, fuse those away, and yeah, he just scoops it up because this was like lost the game. He had not a lot left to play with. I would have just killed him with the Chimera deck right now. Now for game 2, I'm going second. And yeah, he's starting again. His hand now looks a bit better. I'm kind of confused. Maybe he had nothing better to side in, but he kept the Book of Moon. I don't think this is a good decision. If you are able to side it out, I would side it out. He has Droplet, he has Chalice, he has Sven, and also the Crusader. So this is like another really strong hand that he has. Maybe he's just missing the Pot of Greed, but I don't think he plays it because he plays like Droplet and stuff like that. So yeah, he's like I think this is like a pure variant of the deck. There is also no runic to see in here, so I think that's the reason why he's decided to play like points card like Chalice and Forbidden Droplet and Book of Moon, because he spent it now all of his points on the strong non-engine quick play spells, right? So this is also a nice thing to do with the Radiant Typhoon decks. There are a lot of ways if your engine is like 0 points, right? So you can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, he goes first. Again, starts with the Swan, and Swan searches the Radiant Typhoon Chant and uses Chant, gets the Mekada, And then he can special summon the Crusade because if a quick play spell card is activated, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then if this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Radiant Typhoon card and or one Mystical Space Typhoon from your deck and or graveyard to your hand. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except wind monsters. This is also a pretty strong card. I am right now siding against the Radiant Typhoon deck itself because you can also use this in the opponent's turn and then start your turn with Mystical Space Typhoon and Radiant Typhoon Vision. So I think this is a good card in this matchup. Then he uses the effect, gets the MST and also the Typhoon Vision. Then special summons the Megala, uses the Radiant Typhoon Vision again, chains the MST so he can set it again. Special summons the Edam, then uses its effect, searches and sets, gets the Great Flame Phoenix or Phoenix, special summons the Phoenix. Oh, he has to resolve first the Radiant Typhoon Vision. He forgot that. He draws now 2 and discards the second droplet, and now he's able to search that. And right here, he can use the effect of Phoenix, even though it wasn't in the hand when he activated the quick play spell. But it's like private knowledge, so he can still activate it. But he's not activating it. Okay, I think that's kind of confusing, but he doesn't want to. But he can still just special summon it in my turn, so maybe it was to have like a more layered interruption here, so I think that's fine. And yeah, now his board, he goes into end phase, his board looks pretty strong. He has the Totem Bird again to negate a spell or trap, in my case, spell probably. Then the Manifestation, send one Radiant Typhoon monster from a deck to the graveyard, so he can send another one that he can special summon. Chalice as a negate, Radiant Typhoon Vision to draw or search MST again, Book of Moon, which is not the best interruption, and Forbidden Droplet, but still has like a lot of stuff that he can use now. And also he has access to his Radiant Typhoon Phoenix, which is a strong interruption. If we look at my hand, I have the Diabells, which is always a good card to have in this matchup, but it doesn't particularly helps to break the board here. I have Final Bring of the End Times, which is really good to dodge some stuff, maybe dodge like a Chalice. I have MST myself, which has not the highest impact here because he has like 5 set cards, but I have Hatronade, which has a big impact because I can give all of his cards back to the hand, and I also have Gazelle to fuse with. Then I go into the main phase. I discard the Mystical Space Typhoon, because I don't see a big value in just popping one here, and then special summon the Nightmare Apprentice. And I think I made a mistake here by starting with Nightmare Apprentice. I think my start should have been the Hatronade, even though he will probably negate the Hatronade. Hatronade now has a lot of value, right? Because now it can give 5 cards back to his hand and I can play. But he will get it back to his hand, so they won't even be destroyed or something like that. So I think it would have been the better play to just start with the Hatronade, get it negated, because now he's starting to use his back row on my Nightmare Apprentice, and then the Hatronade loses its value, right? And even if I chain now the Final Bringer of the End Times to dodge, he can now negate it with the Totem Bird. So I think it would have been just the correct play to go Hatronade, bait out his Totem Bird, and then play into his back row because I have to Final Bringer of the End Time, and then maybe after that like a Poly or something like that when I search it to be able to play better through his end board. He chains as expected the Chalice. I chain the Final Bringer of the End Time to pop, but he uses Totem Bird and then negates it. And then with this guy, he specials another one and specials the Phoenix from his hand. And this one is also kind of strong. He has the effect when your opponent activates a monster effect and you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, which he has. There's one. You can negate that effect. Then if you have 2 or more Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, you can destroy that monster. So this already makes it impossible for me to play because even if I normal summon the Gazelle, right, he just negates it. He can still use the Phoenix to shuffle back stuff and still has like interruptions. Even now my Hatronade can resolve, but this doesn't help because I would still lose here. He even searches like the MST here. And then, yeah, I think he draws 2, discards 1, and discards the MST, so even now the Vortex, Vibrant Vortex now also destroys, which makes it even worse for me. I use Hatronate in here. He changed the book, which I don't really understand, because this one cannot destroy anything by battle, right? I can just do some damage, but this one now doesn't go back to the hand because it's designated to go to the graveyard, so, and it's also open. This one also just gives back the set spell traps, so I think I would have just let it go to the hand. But okay, I guess he wants to use the Phoenix to shuffle back because it's like the last instance where he can do it. But he could have just waited, even if I have like a quick play Poly, he can use it after that. So I don't think that's the correct play to do here. But right here, even though I can just norm summon the Gazelle, it will be just negated and destroyed, and I will just lose this game. There is no way I can win this here. I also think there wasn't a way if I started with the Hatronade. I think I would have still lost, but I think for the sequencing, this would have been the better play to. Maybe I could have went a bit more far if I sequenced it like that. But in the end, I don't think it would have mattered. I think the result would have been the same. And yeah, then we go for game 3. And in game 3, you will see why Chimera has a super strong matchup against this deck when it goes first. And yeah, it's spoiler warning because of the belts, and because this deck doesn't play a lot of hand traps, or doesn't play any hand traps. And if you don't stop Chimera with hand traps, it's super annoying and strong. So let's take a look at the hands. For him, we have the Gradient Typhoon Phoenix, the Great Flame. This one is actually interruption in my turn if he uses it correctly. He can use it after I used my quick play Poly to special summon it, and then when I use another quick play Poly, he can shuffle back. So I think this is like a good card against Chimera actually. Then he has like the Manifestation, the Chant to search, the Megala, and Mystical Space Typhoon, but not particularly great non-engine that he can use on me. But he has the Phoenix Great Flame, Radiant Typhoon Phoenix, the Great Flame. That's the name. And for my hand, it's actually pretty good. I do have Diabells plus the Sinful Spoils of White Forest. It can set itself back when I special summon the Diabells. I have Mirror Sword Knight as a starter, Gazelle as an extender. Yeah, only an extender when my starter doesn't get stopped, right? The problem is I don't have anything if he stops me, but I know I play against a deck that doesn't have a lot of hand traps. It rather plays like quick play board breakers, and yeah, so I'm pretty confident right here that I will win with this hand. So I just start with the Mirror Sword Knight, use its effect, special summon the Baphomet, use Baphomet, search Chimera Fusion and Gazelle, then use the Chimera Fusion to fuse those two into the Baphomet. And right here on the resolution, I think he could have used the Great Flame, because it says if a quick play spell card is activated except during if the first effect, if a quick play spell card is activated except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this is not only on his turn, he can also use this on my turn. So I think he could have done that. Yeah, but I would have still be able to negate with the Mirror Sword Knight his on-field effect later. So yeah, it wouldn't have saved him, I think. And then I searched the belts with the Gazelle. I reborn with the Big Wing Performat, the Mirror Sword Knight, and I sent with Performat the Buyo, the Downslide. Then the Chimera Fusion to add, no, a Buyo first, and then the Chimera Fusion to add back. And then I use the belts to just discard the Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, because this one sets itself back, so I have it as an interruption in the next turn. Then I send Curse of Diabells with the Diabell C and search for the Filia Diabell. And Filia Diabell searches me the Diabellstar Vengeance. Then I use Chimera Fusion. Right now I can easily just fuse away the Diabellstar Vengeance, because I can just summon it back from the grave and go for more Regina. And I think I did a small mistake here, which can be a big thing, because now I used the Diabellstar, the original Sin Keeper, from my hand instead of using Diabellstar the White Witch from my field. And I think this is like the mistake right here, because now I can only summon one of those two. Because this one, Moral Regina, is actually a good card. He summons, he or she, whatever she is, summons back the Diabells, right? But then I don't have a zone left to reborn the Vengeance. So I think I should have maybe fused this one away instead of the Diabells, the original Sin Keeper. So I think I could have also used the Mirror Sword Knight, but I don't think yeah, maybe it would have been correct to use the Mirror Sword Knight, even though he can give me some follow up, right, in his turn. But there had to be a way where I just fuse something from the field instead of the hand, so I'd be able to have Vengeance and also Diabell's the original Sin Keeper, because like that, it's not the perfect board you can just build. But now I just reborn Diabell's the original Sin Keeper. And then I just set the Mutiny in the Sky for some reason, maybe as a bluff. And yeah, then I pass turn. He kind of just scoops it up here because he knows he cannot use any of his quick play spells, so he cannot use his other effects. So yeah, if she's on the field, if you don't know what she does, she says. Once you control can oh no, it's the wrong one. This one, Diabell's the original Sin Keeper. You can only special summon Diabell's the Sin Keeper once per turn when you have a Sinful Spoils card in your graveyard, so you can summon this also from your hand. Your opponent must set spell trap cards before activating them. That's like the simple effect, which is super broken against quick play spells, because you cannot use them if you set them in the turn you set it them, because they turn into traps then. And the other effect, if a spell / trap card becomes set on the field while this card is in the monster zone, except during a damage step, you can target one card you control and one card your opponent controls, destroy them. So even if they set like a normal spell, like Mutiny in the Sky, you can just pop with the belts one of your cards and one of the opponent's cards, so they cannot use it because they have to set it first. And this deck functions the way that you can pop like a lot if they set a lot. So if they set one, you can pop it with Diabells. Then if they pop another one, you can go into a fusion, Guardian Chimera, pop another one. If they set another one, you can go into another fusion, pop another one, right? If they set a fourth one, you can use Diabell's Vengeance, pop it, so they won't be able to use their power spells. So this is like how the deck actually works. And you also sometimes take a card of out of the opponent's hand with the other Chimera. Yeah, that's how you win with this deck. Just establish the Diabells and then pop away all spells. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Also, it would be super nice if you would subscribe. That would help me a lot to maybe get a YouTube partner in the future. And yeah, see you in the next video. Thank you a lot for watching. Bye bye.